Michelle here with Just for Sweets, and today I am taking part in a challenge. It is hosted by Heidi, and I'm going to put her link and the playlist in the description box below so that you can link to the other people in the challenge as well. I saw this on YouTube when I was looking around, and I thought, what a great opportunity to get my channel out there. So today, our challenge involved Valentines DIYs. She said any store, anything you wanted to do. So what I did is I kind of did a combination because I am a baker and I like to cook as well as DIY. I decided to go ahead and make this video on one DIY decor, mostly Dollar Tree items, so it's very economical, budget friendly. And I'm also doing a Valentine's surprise, basically something that you can make as a food gift for people out there. Actually, the pretzel sticks are from Dollar Tree, but it's super simple and easy. Your kids can take can be involved in it as well. I don't know what I was gonna say. They can take them to school is what I think I was gonna say. Take them as their treat for Valentine's Day for the classroom. They're inexpensive, they're fun, they're easy, they're creative, and you can have fun with them. So I hope you enjoy this. Make sure if you're not a subscriber, you go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also check out Heidi's channel. Like I said, I'm gonna put that in the description box below. Thank you, Heidi, for letting me be a part of this challenge, or this, I think it's a challenge. I'm new to these challenges, so I appreciate that. And let's get going and making these crafts.
Here are the supplies you're going to need for this project. Pretty simple, and most are from the Dollar Tree, although I did get my petals from somewhere else. So we're going to start, and you are going to need a foam cone that I got at Dollar Tree. If you can't find one there, they do have them at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. I have a candlestick holder also from the Dollar Tree. Sometimes these are hard to find, but look for them because they do have them. This is the rhinestone ribbon in the floral department. And then we also have a glue gun, and I actually got my glue sticks from the Dollar Tree. They're Crafter's Square, and so that came in pretty handy. These are the rose petals I'm using. These came from the Target Dollar Spot. They were really pretty. I showed them in my Target haul. I'll link that down below. These were a really pretty red. However, if you don't find them, they do have petals at the Dollar Tree. I believe they have them white, pink, and they may also have red. I'm not sure about that. So what you want to do is you're going to glue your cone to the top of this candlestick, as you saw. But what I want to do first before I do that is I want to kind of bling this out a little bit. I'm trying to make this a little bit more like shabby chic, boutique-ish rather than farmhouse style. So it's a little bit of both wrapped into one. So I measure my rhinestone ribbon, and we go ahead and we get ready to glue that at the top of the candlestick holder. And I just put a stream of glue, put the ribbon down, and then wrap it around. No need to glue it all the way around because that glue comes through the ribbon. You're trying to make this as little as possible. I over measured this a little bit. I have extra, so I end up cutting that off to get it to fit more snug and secure, and then I save that piece. I don't throw these away because I use them for other projects, believe it or not. So I'm gonna do another stream of glue right where I started this. We're gonna go ahead and wrap that around and try to get it as snug as possible. If you have some overhang, if it's too much, you can cut it off. If it's just a little bit, like I have here, you can glue it down. This is kind of a hard thing to measure because of it being circular, but it blends really nicely, and it's a really tight seam, so you don't really notice it too much. It looks elegant and pretty. I decided that I wanted to put some of that on the stem as well, because really you don't see too much of it underneath once you get the petals on the tree, and I really want you to see that ribbon. So I'm going to start in the same spot that I started the top and glue that down, and then wrap it around just like I did the other one and secure it with another stream of glue. wrap it around. This one I measured pretty well, so there was no excess. I just kind of pat it down and then that's ready to go. It looks pretty, doesn't it? I just love the look of this. Then we are going to glue our foam cone on top, and I am going to use a little bit of the Fix-All glue or the super glue adhesive from Dollar Tree, just to help secure it even more, because you can use just the glue gun if you want to be able to tear this apart later. I want this a little bit more of a fixture because I do sell these items in my salon, and so I don't want it popping off when someone buys it. But if this were for my own use, I would definitely probably just use the glue gun. So you put the super glue gel on first, and then you put some of the glue gun some of the hot glue from the glue gun, and that's how you get it to adhere quickly, although this will slip a little bit, so make sure it's completely dry before you start doing anything. You can see it kind of slips here, and then I have to center it. That's how I center it on there, and then I let that dry for about 5 minutes before I get started. And you are going to see my daughter in the background. I was filming on everybody's day off, and I could not get people to leave the room, and I'm doing this right now in my kitchen. So you have her in the background doing her thing, and my husband's on the couch watching his Supercross, and here I am crafting. So you start gluing these rose petals on one at a time. And if you saw the way that I placed it, you're going to want to glue the point side up, and you want to make sure that your rose petal I showed you is not going in. You want it to flare out. So make sure you're putting it in the flare out position. I hope that makes sense. If you watch the video, you can kind of see. And then this is how I space them apart, because you're going to overlap them. So I just continue to glue all the way around the base until you get completely around with all the petals, making sure that they're all facing the same direction. So just continue gluing. And if I knew how to do the fast forward thing, I totally would. But I don't, so this is what we've got. So as you can see, I have finished the complete bottom, and you start to see it taking a little bit of shape. Next, you want to go to the second layer. So there's the bottom. And then we're going to start the second layer. Gluing again the triangular part of the rose petal, and what you're going to do is you're going to go in between where that triangle, reverse triangle shape is, and place it on top so it kind of flares out. Hold it down, make sure you don't burn yourself, but that's where you start, and then you overlap the same way, creating another reverse triangle as you go up. So we will continue to go around doing the second layer, and so on and so on. I just love these rose petals. When I saw them at the Target dollar spot, I knew I had to get them. You don't get as many as you do at the Dollar Tree, but they're just a little bit of a thicker petal, and I just really like the color. It's beautiful, and it had kind of that ombre-ish look with the darker point to them, so that's why I picked these. And you can kind of flare it out as you go along, and then you just continue wrapping. But yes, I have made these as well with the Dollar Tree petals, and they work just as fine. You can do some extra layers if you want them to look a little bit more full. I'm pulling glue off as I go along because my glue gun just streams everywhere. I've got little glue streams everywhere. Looks like spider webs. So continue until you get all the way around, and we are just going to continue all the way up, as you see, placing everything in between those triangles as we go up, always creating a new triangle. If you have any spots that flare up a little bit more than others, you can take your glue gun and just kind of place it underneath and replace those. One thing I did want to mention is that if you want to cover your styrofoam base first, you can cover it in burlap, you can cover it in scrapbooking paper. You can paint it if you want to. I prefer just to leave mine white, but you will see towards the end that you can see some of the white, and then I go in and I fill it in with some more rose petals. That's just what I prefer to do, but if you want something that's a little bit quicker, you can, like I said, first wrap some scrapbook paper or something around that cone to cover the white up so that you don't see it as you go along. And please excuse, I've got my washer going in the background. We're washing clothes, and so that's the noise that you might hear. I'm not sure if you hear it or not, but it's right in my ear, so I can hear it. And I just love how this is turning out. You just see the shape of it. It's elegant. My daughter did ask me, Mom, why are you making a Christmas tree in January? And it's not a Christmas tree. I did make a Christmas tree one in December. It was all white, and it was really beautiful. But this one is a Valentines Mother's Day / tree, and I'm just using the red petals going all the way up. And like I told you, as you flare it up, you can see some of that white cone, and that's what I was talking about. So this is where I go in and I just place some extra petals in between where I really just don't want to see that white. So you can do this to your own taste. Some people don't fill it in. I do want to say that I found this idea from another YouTuber. Unfortunately, I don't know which YouTuber it was because I watched it real quick one day and said, oh my goodness, I need to make that. This was months ago, so I apologize. I would do a shout out if I could remember who I watched, but she did not do the fill-in in between, but it was also with white petals, and so when it's with white petals, it doesn't stand out quite as much. Where the red definitely shows the white. So I just go in and kind of fill them in. But if you don't want to do that, you do not have to. It also gives you a fuller tree. So I continue to do that until I get it filled in the way that I like. So now we're going to continue going up the tree, and then I'm going to show you how I do the top. When I made my white one in December, I did it a little different on the top. I don't have a video for that one. This one, I kind of figured it out as I went along, which is what us crafters seem to do sometimes. We don't always pre-plan everything. And so this is where I'm going to start showing you how I do the top. And basically, I took glue, put it on that corner or that triangle, and then I kind of placed it on the top so that it overlapped and covered the white, not only on the sides of the top of the tree, but also the very top of the tree, because I want no white showing at all. You continue that all the way around. I believe it took 4 or 5 petals to do this. And one thing I didn't show you in this video, you'll see towards the end when I show you everything, I forgot to turn the petals that are at the top down because you see how they kind of stick up. So you can choose the way it looks. You'll see how it looks at the very end, and then I will add a picture of it with the petals going down so you can see if you kind of want to flip those top petals around. So you could actually glue those opposite so they go down if you want to. Or like I did, I glued them like this, and then I just kind of flipped them inside out a little bit so that they go down. But you'll see that at the very end. Now I want to fill in some of those gaps just in case the petals do pop up. I don't want people to see that. So that just kind of fills in the top of that tree a little bit. You can also glue those petals down a little bit more if you like. And then I just kind of brush everything up so I can see where maybe I need to do some fill-ins. Like I said, if you have red scrapbooking paper there that kind of matches your tree, or pink, whichever color you decide on, then really you probably won't have to fill it in like I do. But I'm a little bit, I don't know, I don't like those. I like it to look perfect if I can. So I just continue to go in and fill in those spots. And I'll keep turning around and showing you. So here's the tree completely done. You can see what the top looks like. You can see how those top petals flare out, like I told you. Again, at the end, I will post a picture with the petals down. Now I'm trying to figure out what I want to put on top. So I have this little heart that came from the Dollar Tree. It came with a bunch of roses. It was in there. I took that off. Then I have the glittery wood sticker hearts that if I did that, I would put a sticker on both sides so that it was a two-sided topper. There was that idea, which was really pretty because it was glittery, so not so farmhouse. I have these little mini roses left over from a couple years ago. I also took a big rose. Now I'm not taking the bottoms off. I'm just kind of seeing what they look like on top. That would also look very elegant on top if you just put a rose up there. But I decided to use something different. This is a jewel that came out of my craft stash. I thought that would be cute, but it was a little thin for the top of this. These are the wooden balls that I use for my gnomes. I can link that in the description box below. These come from Michael's. You could paint that and glue that on top. But really what I wanted to use and what I used at Christmas is a drawer pull knob. I had bought a bunch of these years ago at the at the Target dollar spot. And I never used them for my daughter's dresser. And so I have them just in my craft stash, and they're crystal, just, you know, kind of like the candlestick holder. So I decided that that was what I was going to use. So I'm showing you the bag of rose petals, how many I have left over after doing that. So I have enough for 2 trees if they come from the Target dollar spot. These are little crystals that I got, I believe, at Michael's, and I was saying if you want to put those on the end of the petals, you can, to kind of glam it up a little bit. I'm trying to do something just super simple, not too glamorous, but you can put those on there. Now this was a little bit more challenging. I did put some of the super glue gel from the Dollar Tree and some hot glue. I had a tough time getting that to adhere down. It doesn't really show in the picture, but you can see that there is some glue all around. So I want to go through and I want to cover up the glue. I didn't like how that looked. You could even take a piece of the ribbon if you want to. And put the ribbon around that, like cut the ribbon in half so it's like only 2 pieces across, if that makes sense. But I chose to just glue some more rose petals down around the top to kind of cover the glue that came out. It didn't adhere well. So I don't know if I recommend using the glue gel or just using just your glue gun for the top of this. But in the end, it all works out and it looks beautiful. And this is what I'm talking about with the petals up. I will show you again, but this is it complete. The petals are up. If you like it that way, you can do it that way. It's glamorous, it's beautiful, and it looks great on the center of my table next to another one of my projects. Do not mind the background, that is all my craft stuff there, but this is kind of what it looks like. And it's just super pretty. It would look really pretty on any centerpiece, any table, just to give a little bit of that Valentine's pop. So here it is. Here's all my fun stuff, and I am so happy I got to share that with you. Okay, here's where I show you that I flip the petals around. So see how they flare out, which is like they were in the last picture or scene that you saw. I take these petals and I just kind of take my finger and pop them down. Now they pop up pretty easy, so you can glue them down if you prefer them this way. Just put a little dab of glue underneath the petal. I have not done that yet, but I wanted to show you for video purposes what it looks like when the petals are down. Please excuse my craft mess in the background. I was crafting the entire weekend and my daughter was playing with her skateboard stuff. So anyway, this is what it looks like when the petals are down. I think I like that look a little bit better. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you like the petals flared up at the top? Do you like them down? Would you have preferred using the crystals instead? But anyway, that's how it turned out. I love it. So let's move on to the next. Valentine DIY is a yummy treat that you can make for your family, friends, kids' school. It is chocolate covered pretzels, and these are the pretzel rods I use. I get them at the Dollar Tree. Then I use these candy melts. I get these at Michael's. I believe you can get them at Hobby Lobby as well. I have them in chocolate like the dark chocolate white, and then I have a bright pink color. Is actually from last season. Then I have an assortment of Valentines sprinkles. Now, I did not go out and buy any. I baked cakes, and these are just some leftovers I had up in my cupboard. So I pulled those down, and these are the different varieties of sprinkles that I have to decorate our pretzel rods. Then I have bowls, 3 different bowls. That is to put the different candy melts in. And then I always add some shortening to my candy melts when melting them. It just gives them a little bit of a thinner texture and helps them from clumping up. I use 3 knives to stir them and to spread the chocolate out sometimes. If it's like, you'll see when I decorate, I kind of do like a decoration with the chocolate, I guess you could say. So what you're gonna do is, the first thing is I lay my pretzel rods out, and I have a sheet pan with wax paper or parchment paper on it. And I'm putting white candy melts into a dish. I did not measure, so I would say approximately a half a cup I put in these. I do the pink. And then I added some white to the pink because the pink was a little bit brighter than I wanted. So I did mostly pink and then added a little bit of white. And then I put the white candy melts in their own bowl, and then the chocolate ones in their own bowl. What I like to do is put them in the microwave for 30 seconds. So stick them in there for 30 seconds, get your knife, do a quick stir. You're gonna wanna add, I take about, I would say about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of the vegetable shortening and put it in with the candy melts. I also like to mix my candy melts with regular chocolate chips because it gives them a little bit more of a candy flavor rather than just, it gives them more of a chocolate flavor rather than just the candy melt flavor. So to the dark chocolate candy melts, I added some chocolate chips. You can add, roughly a handful or so. It just kind of eye it. And then the white chocolate, I add white chocolate chips, and to the pink one, I also add white chocolate chips to those. And that's along with your shortening. And like I said, I put it in for 30 seconds, stir it, put it in for another 30 seconds, stir it. And you want to, the second time you put it in, you stir it to where it looks like it's, almost completely melted. And then I stick it in for 30 more seconds and then bring it out and then stir it until it's nice and smooth. You do not want to overcook these candy melts or they will clump up on you. I've made that mistake before. I did explain how to make these candy melts in a past video when I did cake pops. And if I can find that video, I will link it down in the description box below so you can kind of see the explanation there, because I do the same thing. As you can see in the background, I have the dark chocolate already melted. So here's where I show you. I have the white candy melts, white chocolate chips, and a teaspoon of the vegetable shortening. I have put these in the microwave for 30 seconds. Actually, I think I put them in for a minute and now I'm stirring. I think I decided to do it that way after doing the dark chocolate. So I put them in for a minute, stir, you can see that they're somewhat melted, and then I put them back in for 30 seconds. Bring them out and you can see there's still chunks. Then I kind of mix it all up and you keep mixing. And at this point, it should be warm enough that it mixes and gets smooth. You're looking for a smooth consistency. So you just keep stirring until you have all the chocolate melted. And that's the consistency you want right there. It's pretty simple to do. And now we're gonna melt the pink. And like I said, I have the pink candy melts, white candy melts, and some white chocolate chips along with the teaspoon of the shortening. I put that in also for a minute. I'm now stirring, and then that'll go back in for 30 seconds. Then you stir it again. You can see that everything's almost melted together. And again, you're going to get it to that smooth consistency, the same as the white chocolate that you saw. And this makes a really pretty pink. I probably would have liked it a little bit lighter than what I made, but this one will work for me. Next, the spoons I took out. I actually usually dip the chocolate, but because I have shallow bowls, I need the spoons because I'm actually going to pour the chocolate over the pretzel rods. And you do 1/2 to 3/4 of the pretzel rod. You need a spot to hold it. So I'm just pouring the chocolate over the pretzel rod right now. And you just kind of turn the rod as you go. And then just drizzle that chocolate right over the top. You kind of let it sit there. I let some of the excess chocolate drip, and then I spin it to get that chocolate to kind of set up right there. The candy melts do melt fairly quick. You will notice that the pink and the white set up a lot faster than the dark chocolate. For some reason, the dark chocolate takes a little bit longer to set up. I'm not sure why, so you want to make sure they're nice and set. But while they're sitting there cooling, as soon as you put the chocolate on, then you pick the decoration of choice and you go ahead and you just decorate each rod the way you like. Now, I showed you sprinkles. You can use disco dust glitter to make them sparkly. I'll show you that later in the video. You can also use chopped nuts. You can use chocolate chips to decorate with, coconut flakes. You can even break up cookie pieces and put cookie pieces on it. It's totally up to you. There's peanut butter chips and everything. So there it is. It's decorated nice and Valentine's-y, don't you think? So we are going to continue with our pretzel rods, and now I'm going to do a white one, and we're going to do the same method that we did with the pink. Just pouring the chocolate over, drizzling it over, turning the rod at the same time, getting a nice coating on there of the white chocolate. These are just so pretty and they're really fun, and there's different ways to display them. I'll show you at the end. But you can, wrap them in cellophane. Order those bags online. You look for pretzel rod bags. You might be able to get those at Michael's or Hobby Lobby as well. So again, we're spinning it, trying to get that excess chocolate off. Like I was saying, you can put them in cellophane bags. I show you that at the end. You can put a cute ribbon on it. You can also display them on a plate. You can stack them. I kind of flare them out so that you can see them. But you can stack them on a plate. You can actually put them like in little buckets. Just whatever you want to do. Just be creative. So I went ahead and I'm decorating the white one now. And you can see just the beautiful colors that come out. They're really fun, and again, you can use your imagination. So now we want to go ahead and do a dark chocolate or milk chocolate, and I'm doing the same method, pouring the chocolate over the pretzel rod, spinning the rod as I go. Remember, this one takes longer to set up. It doesn't set up as quickly as the others. So you have a little bit more time to work with the dark chocolate or the milk chocolate. It's I don't know what to call it. I think they're like cocoa candy melts, and I mix dark chocolate with them. So spin it. This one will take a little bit longer to spin some of the excess off because it doesn't cool as fast. So I just kind of shake it. And what I'm doing by doing this is preventing a big puddle of chocolate being underneath your pretzel rods. You still get some runoff, but I'm trying to take as much excess off as I can. So I did one of each. And we'll go ahead and start the process all over again, decorating each rod. So basically we're repeating the process. I'm not going to get you all into that and show you that. Put it on here. And then this one, I had these salted caramel crunch that I decided to put onto the rod. I got these at Christmas time at Michael's for cookies, and I never used them. So I thought that those would be really yummy on top of the pretzels. So I'm just sprinkling that salted caramel crunch on it and then just kind of sticking it to the chocolate to kind of form it on there. This ended up being a really yummy combo. I don't know if you can find those now, but that's just showing you that there's options out there. Now, the milk chocolate or the chocolate pretzel rod, I have left to cool and to set up so that I can do a swirly pattern on it and show you that. I'm gonna now continue to dip into the white chocolate. Again, repeating that same process, drizzling it on, shaking it off, and putting it on the tray. With this one, I decided to use these candy cane crunch that I also got at Michael's at Christmas time. I love white chocolate and peppermint on pretzels. It tastes really good. And I know that this is very Christmassy, but because it is red and we're using white, it is also very Valentinesy. So I really like the look, plus I love that combination. So that's why I placed these two together, and it just looks really pretty. Kind of fun. Kids love these as well. Then we are going to do our last chocolate one. So we're gonna go ahead and dip that the same as the others. Well, not dip it, but kind of spread it on there. And now we will get ready and we will set this on the tray. And for this one, I decided to use some Heath bar that I had. It's milk chocolate Heath. This is in my bakery, or my baking stuff in my pantry. Like I said, I just kind of used what I had on hand. I didn't go buy anything. And I'm just gonna sprinkle the Heath the same way I did the crunch on top of the pretzel rod. And this is also a very yummy combo. Not super Valentine's-y, but once you put them in the bags, you'll see, or on the plate, how pretty they look with the other ones. So those need to set up. And I am going to actually put some red sprinkles on that as well with the Heath Crunch, just to give it a little bit of a Valentine's appearance. Like I said, be super creative, use your imagination, and you're gonna let these all set up, but use your imagination, have fun with them, you know, be creative. You can do some pink with white swirls and some white with pink swirls. I'm gonna show you how to swirl it onto the chocolate here in just a minute. But these are all the different things that I came up with, and they're just super fun, cute, and very festive. So now we're gonna take this white chocolate. I'm gonna take the spoon out of the white chocolate because I like to drizzle with a butter knife. It's just easier for me. So you take it and you put some on the tip of your butter knife and you shake off some excess. You don't want a very light hand, and you go back and forth. You do it fast, but you want just extremely light hand. And it just makes a really pretty swirl design. I also do this on my chocolate covered strawberries. I'll do a chocolate strawberry, and with white chocolate, I'll do the same technique and drizzle it over the top, and then I add a little bit of disco dust to them. That's probably a good video I should have done, but I didn't think about it. So people love those. Okay, so this is the disco dust I'm telling you about. I believe this one is a rose gold, and I usually get them from eBay or from Amazon, and you look up edible dust or edible glitter, or disco dust, and you can find those online, and it's hard to tell from here, but it gives it a beautiful shimmer. I mean, it's like an elegant shimmer. All the cakes I make, I always use this. It's like my signature thing. So here is a tray. I just took a sheet of tissue paper from the Dollar Tree with the hearts, and the old-fashioned way, like in elementary school, I cut out 2 hearts, put them on the tray, and then I fanned out the pretzel rods. So again, this would be really fun. You could even do it for the Super Bowl party, but also fun for a classroom, for a teacher's room, at work, or just to display out for your family to eat. I did put nuts on some of them. I just kind of had fun, some chocolate chips on those pink ones. So I just had a really fun time making these, and I hope you enjoy it. I mean, these are super easy and fun to make. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the like button. And until next time, next video, God bless everyone. Thanks again.
I hope you enjoyed those. They're super simple, and like I said, you can be creative, use your imagination, use what you have at home. Don't go out and buy a bunch of stuff. See what you've got and just use your imagination. So I really enjoyed this, and I'm happy to be a part of it. If Heidi is the one that sent you over, I thank you so much. And if you're already a part of my YouTube channel, I thank you as well. Anyway, God bless everyone. Bye-bye.